Right, hi BLG team. I want to have a look at our quoting now. So in the first video we looked at how we might make the red book a little bit more strong and a little bit more compatible with the way we're working now and into the future, and to avoid sort of mess-ups with numbering. And I want to talk about the next step that in terms of any job, which is quoting. Now, as you know, we've had a red book, a job tracker, and a quote sheet, and several other documents. And my theory is that if we can try and get those all in one place, we might have a slightly better time in terms of sort of control of work. Obviously, I'm thinking of this from my perspective, from an operations guy, so I'm trying to think about how I work. And as always, there are no decisions, only trade-offs. So when we do something, you always cause a few problems down the road. But this is just another way we might want to work. Okay, so here we are back in the red book that we were in with the last video. And what I've done is, if you look down here, I've added just the quotation sheet from our quote master. My quote master had all sorts of other background information like costing and square meterage, but it's obviously we don't really use that. So the only thing we really use is the quoting thing that produces the PDF quote that we send it to the client. So I've put it in here. Now I obviously had to make some changes to how it operated, because it used to be connected up on the server, and obviously a lot of the data is not quite linked up. So I had to make some changes. So obviously it can be a little. No, there. Sorry. It always loads a little low for some reason. I can't figure out why. Okay, so here's our usual quote reference. You'll see nothing's in there. We've got some generic costing and whatnot. And if you remember, we used to have to do this operation here when you control find replace all. So what I've now structured to do is to actually just enter in a single job number in that cell there, and it should populate all that information, which should then feed into this red book. And then if there's something missing here, we should not alter it here, but alter it on the red book. And obviously this we can alter at our will. Okay, so let's go through a dummy quote. Okay, so we go back to our job data. There we go. Again, it seems to load a little low, which can be a little frustrating, which I'm still trying to work on, but let's just get down to where we are. Somewhere in the 7,000s now. Getting there. Okay. Right, so let's do a little temp job. Okay, so we get a job in, okay, and let's say it's in Stellenbosch. You guys will have to excuse my spelling as usual. And it's at Earth 1, 2, 4. Let's do something we can actually remember. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. It's at keyword topo, and something we'll recognize. JDP. Street dish. Number 5, farm. Postal code 1234. Office partner, I mean that's not really relevant. Okay, I'm going to give it the next N number, which will be 3772. Project, don't know what that is. The date, well, let's put in fact, let's be smart and just go, of course, today. As I try and be smart. It was myself, Jonathan. That was taken by me. Job number is already there. Quote number, the next in the sequence, 7624. The client is, let's give it just one of our favorites, ARC. And the contact was Joe Soap. Let's telephone number is 083 083 0831. Alright, and we can keep going. His cell was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He had a few extra numbers on there. His fax is non-existent. His email is joe@soap.com. Our task is the topographical topographical survey. Is there anything else we need? That's pretty much everything. Okay, what do we need to know from this? Very important, we just need the job number. Okay, 13780. We go to our quote. Let's see, I can never remember numbers. Copy. Bam. And there we go. Got the date, the client, everything is here. Where there isn't something, it's placed as a 0. I should probably make that a bit more better. Everything's here that we need. Okay. And that should have populated up to here. Looks like everything's come through. It's valid for a month. Quote number's correct. Attention. Phone number. Cell has come out a bit odd because of all the numbers I put in. Job number, everything there, Joe Soap, da da da. So all we need to now do is this part. And of course it's all interoperable. We'll calculate the VAT and calculate the price. And also a nice thing about this, okay, so let's talk about, again, I told you there are no decisions, there are only trade-ins. So the nice thing about this is that it's one place, that everything is contained, and when I print out, I'll have a PDF that I can immediately send off to the client. It's also nice that if we want to, although we want to try and avoid this, we could, we've had a lot of toing and froing with quotes. We could, if we wanted to, let's say, establish a SWOT meeting at the end of the day. For 15 minutes, everyone comes online and we discuss quotes that people have a little bit of nervousness about what pricing. We can all sit here, we can see the quote, we can generate it together if that's something we want to do. One of the drawbacks from it, obviously, is that if somebody's working on a quote, nobody else can. It's not that they can't; they'll be able to see what's going on. But if they want to put out a quote, they'll have to wait till the one person's done. We could fix that by making several quote options here, so that's quite doable, but I don't want to clutter the world just yet. And of course, the last drawback is it doesn't solve our filing problem. Whoever prints this will need to file it in the appropriate place. But I'll be honest, I haven't been doing that at all anyway, so that doesn't really change. That's a problem. That isn't we haven't created a problem. That problem always existed. So yeah, that's my idea. Everything's in one place, and then if we go file, and then one other drawback is that obviously if somebody stuffs up with this, they stuff it up. But that again has always been a problem. So eventually I'll try and figure out how, but we'll protect them. So I'll make sure that you can't edit that. The only thing you can edit is, and this you can't edit. So the only way you can change information is through the red book. That would be the ideal, but we're not quite there yet. Baby steps. Right, just to illustrate the final point, we could then just go and print. No, that's not how we print. File. Print. 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 If I remember correctly, this works out. And there we go. We've got so it would print and you just save the PDF. So then, without doing anything, we've made a quote very quickly, very easily. It's in the same place, and everyone's on the same page. I'm going to cancel that. Yeah, so that's basically my idea, just to streamline some of the problems we've been having. So please give it some thought, and we can talk about it on Monday. Thanks, everyone.